can start with the, yes, now the recording is on. You can start with the questions or any doubts, any clarification, anything you want to discuss, we can get started. And this is a open forum. When it's an open forum, anyone can answer, anyone can bring. It's not a question and answer session. It's like a discussion, open conversation, right? So anyone can share their pointers, perspectives, your experience, anything as such from that situation or the scenario perspective. What are the 3 qualities of release train engineer in SAFe? Interesting. So anyone want to take it up? If in case you have experience in SAFe, either you played the role of RT or you have experience interacting, collaborating with RT. And start bringing up the questions as well when we are discussing about it.
I think one of the topmost quality, I think, from my perspective, is you should be a great listener, because a person need to be, very much listen, that particular habit, so that he needs to, convey the message to the leadership, and he need to coordinate a lot. So if you have listening power, I'm not saying here the listening power, then you can make the great decision at the runtime and at the syncing level. And when the most critical moment is to arrange a PI planning, so you need to manage multiple things, multiple teams and team members, some business side, product side, and right. So you need to listen a lot how things are happening and why it's happening. I think one of the reason will be that, and second will be the coordination part, and you have to be very much swift in your movement. And third would be the tool oriented. I'm not saying to know each and every tool on handy. Basic simple tool like MS Excel, MS Office, collaboration tool like Confluence Page. If a guy is able to play around with these qualities, I think he is she good enough to play the roles, as per my understanding of what release train engineering SAFe.
Okay. So if you have to summarize the quick 1 point, one word for the 3 qualities, what would you like to mention, Seshan?
One word for SAFe, it has to, sorry?
No, the 3 qualities. The first one is a listener.
Listener.
Second one?
Swift, move according to the flow.
Move according to the flow.
And third would be
the tool.
The tool possible, because we are working in information technology area, right? We have to learn about basic tool. I'm not saying high-ended. MS Office tools, it's pretty much effective, and one project management tool like Confluence and Jira, that is more than enough. Yes, every organization, they have different things to play around. The basic is Jira and Confluence. Of course, you can have Azure DevOps board, ADA, what we said. Sorry, not ADA, ADO, ADO. And you might have agility tools, right? And you have so and so forth, right? PI planning.io, you can play on that, right? You have multiple, but at least basic, if you have, you can run the show. I have seen people, they are creating their PI planning in plain Excel sheet. Can be doable if you don't have that much tool thing, and you have much more security concern in your product and organization. You can play with that. So basic thing, if you're a master, then you can be in a good shape. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Anyone else want to add before I share my thoughts?
It's similar to a Scrum Master, right? Communicate, collaborate, and connect all the people together. So I think
exactly.
All
yeah.
to do.
Yes, sir. More or less exactly. But it is like the scale or the scope is a little bit more compared to a Scrum Master. That's the one main difference, right? So Scrum Master works for a given team or maybe couple of teams, whereas a release train engineer could be working with maybe up to 10 teams or 12 teams based upon the combination of the release train or the composition of the release train. So in addition, the release train engineer will be coordinating with the product owners, coordinating with the scrum masters, coordinating with the business owners, coordinating with the architects and the teams. Each and every role within that release train, release train engineer need to coordinate. So obviously the coordination plays the first key important quality, then the facilitation, and the third quality for me is like the conflict resolution, because there is where many of the times the release train engineer could be facing a challenge, especially when the teams are having a interdependencies or a dependency with the cross release train, some other release train. So that is where we need to focus on how we can resolve that conflict to ensure the dependency is resolved on a timely basis and the release happens smooth. So these are the three qualities from my perspective. Of course, the other qualities is also important, but these are three main key qualities which release train engineer should focus on.
Satish, I have a question here. This is
Sure.
Venkatesh. So when
Yeah.
you say we have to have a conflict resolution, interaction, and coordination, and these things hold good for a Scrum Master as well, right? So
Yes.
how
Scrum
different
Master
is
as
this
well.
RT? That particular fine point I'm not unable to get.
Okay. How different the release train engineer is, the Scrum Master coordinates, do all these things at one given team level. At conflict resolution within your team, between your two team members, or between the team and product owner, sort of thing. Now the release train engineer will be working as a release train engineer for up to 12 teams. So the conflict could be between two different teams or maybe three different teams. Right?
Okay,
It's not
it's a
just within
scale.
your team.
It's a scale.
Yeah, it's a scale. It's a scaling. Right? So let's suppose like I am the login team, for example, or the authentication team. Every other team, the payments team, the transfers team, rewards team, each and every team has dependency on my team. If I'm not coordinating with the other teams to get that integration authentication done, every other team, the entire product or the solution will get impacted. So that is the responsibility of the release train engineer to make sure that conflict, the dependencies across the teams are resolved, discussed, resolved, and make sure the teams are working, collaborating together.
Okay, then my understanding is if that is the case in generic thing, it is like a program manager kind of thing, right? So
Sort
they'll
of, yes, that's
okay.
correct. Yes, more or less, if in case the organization is implementing safe, they might be calling them as a release train engineer. If not, it might be the more or less the same as a program manager. That's correct.
So can you repeat the points, sir?
The points, okay. I mean, which point?
The 3 points. That's enough for me.
3 points. Okay. The facilitation
Mhm.
and the coordination and
Okay.
the conflict resolution is from my perspective.
Again,
Because facilitation
facilitation
plays,
in the sense, Satish, again, we have coaches, right? So they also do facilitation.
might not be. See, I'm working as a coach, but I will help my release train engineer if in case they need any help. But they will be the one who need to drive the PI planning, inspect NetApp, Scrum and everything. Because I as an agile coach, I am supporting 4 release trains. So I won't be facilitating each and every event at a release train level. There is a responsibility of RTE.
Okay, you're playing both as a release train engineer and an agile coach.
No. That's what I'm telling. So we have 10 release trains, whereas each release train has 1 release train engineer, right? So I am supporting 4 release trains.
That means that you're coaching the 4 RTEs.
Exactly. 4 RTEs or the Scrum teams within that 4 release trains, or the
I'm gonna
Scrum
shut the
Masters,
door.
product
Just
owners.
give me a minute. You guys continue.
Sure.
Satish, can we go to the next question, Satish?
Sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Thanks. And is there any framework to understand where we are standing or how to progress further on our career path and options as Scrum Master? Please give some pointers. So it is like a internal assessment for our own self. That's what my understanding is. Right. So where we are standing or how we are progressing further on our career path and options as Scrum Master. Please give some pointers. Okay.
Sir, can we distribute this question into two phases? Number one, what is saying the
Sure.
framework to understand what we are saying. First part, you said that it is correct that where our progression is internal, development, how we are grooming up, right?
Mhm.
The second part, it's saying that further on our career path as an option as a Scrum Master, which means
Mm.
now we need
Next
to
steps.
shift the gear from
Mhm.
Scrum Master to become RTE, Agile coach, or into the product space, product owner, manager, project manager, and program level. So
Mhm.
this is my assumption. This question has a two meanings. So number one,
Yes.
how we are understanding ourselves, what is my capability. Let's say in
Mhm.
our forum, let's say 10 to 15 members are there. Not everyone has the aspiration of become agile coach, project manager, or program manager. Some might go to different levels, right? The
Mhm.
first question is the connection of the second, how we are going to navigate the channels, right?
Mm. Mm. Yes. Yeah. Who would like to go ahead with that?
I think basically Scrum Master, if he is traversing in a progressive way, he shouldn't just restrict himself to ceremonies. So he should be expanding his knowledge on how the team is working, what technologies are they working, and even if he can go to a level where he can able to understand the flow, design, read the code, right? That is team level, and
Mhm.
and even in the program level, he should be able to having that clear knowledge on how the contracts are being made. Okay, what is the
Mm.
pre-sales? Okay, what is the pre-sales strategy and what is the post-sales strategy for the team? How are they trying to position it in the market? And
Mhm.
it's in output, like even in input, like what's the agile, how the agile contract has been made for the teams across this
Mm.
program or train.
Mhm. Mhm.
So he should be able to know even the project management stuff
Mm.
related to this, and as well as delivery as well. So because as of now, I feel that previously agile is new and everybody that craze should be there, and now almost all in the industry everybody knows what is agile, what is scrum. They are no longer in a unknown stage or a neophyte stage of understanding scrum. So that's why in the market also now they should expand their wings to cover either delivery or these contracts or pre-sales or post-sales. This is what I'm thinking, but please correct me, and other inputs also would be helpful.
Definitely, definitely. That's valid points.
Sorry, I disagree with you on this regard because
Mhm.
Scrum Masters are not supposed to be involved in pre-sales or other areas. Delivery,
Mhm.
to an extent, he can assist, and apart from that, it's all with the program management office and the program managers, portfolio managers to handle this. And pre-sale should not be clubbed with Scrum Masters, and Scrum Masters should be kept aside. They should be only focusing on the delivery perspective and servant leadership qualities.
Vasu, let me clarify what the point Balaganesh mentioned, right? So,
Mm.
Balaganesh point is like the Scrum Master should focus on learning these along with playing the role of Scrum Master for the
Yeah.
career progression.
That is
Not
fine.
to play the role, not to play the role.
Got it.
See,
I got
let's
it.
suppose like Scrum Master moved into a program manager role further, or maybe Agile coach or any other role. So that at that point of time, these skills might be required or might be helpful.
I mean, the 360-degree view of a big picture is what
Mm.
is required.
Okay, kind of a T type of a learning.
Yes, for career progression, not to
Okay, fine.
play in the role of Scrum Master.
Only not to play only in the role of Scrum Master, but he should know other areas as well, so that he
Yes,
can progress.
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly.
Taken.
And frankly speaking, that's what the industry also is expecting. So no more coaching roles, frankly speaking. Yeah. So we should have especially who are all Scrum Master, they should hone their skills related to either delivery or project management or pre-sales or whatever it might be.
Okay.
Please feel free to disagree and maybe need your other thoughts also, please.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
would like to disagree.
Who is that?
Okay. So
Arun, yes.
what suggest is, so you look at the Agile manifesto, right? Responding to change rather than following a plan. So now, what each person or each individual thinks as a progression to the next level is something that is specific to that person. Okay, so that can mean getting more money, or that can be working at a different organization. That can mean doing something that he looks up to. Maybe that could be a program manager role, that could be a project manager role, or the RT role, or the Agile coach, whatever he or she aspires, right, from what he or she has seen in others. Or they could very well be happy in doing the Scrum Master itself, maybe with a different organization, at a different pay scale, or maybe for a different, I don't know, technology, working with a different team, right? So that is something that varies from person to person. There is no one single rule. That is something that everybody has to discover for themselves, what they want. So sometimes somebody could have been a Scrum Master for a long time, suddenly they may get interested in technology, maybe they want to switch technologies. They can start learning that, move away as a developer, or I don't know, whatever they feel like, right? So I feel that's what true agility is. It's all about you look at yourself, you look at your surroundings, you see what works best for you or what you think is correct, and try to go from there. So we cannot suggest a single option like maybe an RT, or maybe an Agile coach, or maybe a program manager is the next progression of somebody from a Scrum Master role. It's something up to that individual. There are so many things. There are so many avenues to pursue, right? So yeah, I think that's what I would suggest.
I totally agree with you, Arun. The reason, like, almost every day I'm having at least 1 or 2 career coaching conversations with different folks, right? So there is a first question I will be getting, or I will be asked as part of the coaching or mentoring. Hey, I am playing the role of Scrum Master. What's my career path, or what the options I have? My question is like, hey, it's not like I giving you the options. You let me know what is that your area of interest or your focus. What is it you want to do, or why you want to look at the career progression. Accordingly, yes, as you mentioned, each of us has our own perspectives, our own thought process, our own interests or focus. Only that we can pick and choose what it is, right? So does it answer your question, or does it agree with your point, Arun?
Yes, I agree.
Yes. So that is what. So here the question is like, for first half, we skipped the first half and we went to the second half. So let's try to come back to the point. How do we know whether we are doing, where are we standing as a Scrum Master? Oh, the reason this question is important is like every now and then in different forums, we are getting this question like just before the appraisal time. Majority of the times it is observed that we will come back, we will get the questions stating that it is my appraisal time. I need to submit my appraisal to my manager. What all the points should I mention, or how do you know whether I'm doing as a whether I'm an effective Scrum Master, or what is that it is required? So maybe shall we discuss that first, because we already started discussing the career path and the options next to the Scrum Master.
Yeah, sure, Satish. We should first know where we are standing and
Yes,
how we are.
Exactly.
yeah, you can.
Yes. Yeah, who would like to go ahead?
Okay, I just want to share
Yes,
my
Danya.
path. Hi, Satish. Yeah. So, here the person is trying to know what is the framework. See, this is my personal experience. We have heard about SWOT analysis, right? Which talks about it's a standard in the project management. So, applying that is for on the organization strategic planning. Now, let's come back to our personal level uh, and identifying what is our strengths and where are our weak areas, like how we can improve ourselves. And then, I mean, what are the opportunities available on the next level? So, for example, it's not if I have to take it up for not only just for the Scrum Master, for any other role, right? Since there is a huge competition out there, everyone should do it. Like we have often heard about personal agility, right? We should understand how agile we are to accept what is there in a market, and what is our strengths in it, and what are our weak points. And when it comes to the weak points, again we have to come up with the plan, maybe a quarterly plan, or like to start with on a weekly basis. And if there is any threat in the sense, like, I mean, someone mentioned, right, like if they want to switch to a technical role. So again, it depends on each person's aspiration. Someone could change just for the salary hike, or may not like the company culture, or some organization may not value the scrum master role itself. Like in the name of scrum master, they might ask you to do a role of a program manager. So no harm, but it's always good to knowing the new skill set and learning things. And this is my personal experience. If I'm stuck, or I'm blocked, or if I'm in chaos, I will reach out to a mentor. One of Satish is my mentor as well. I've reached multiple times. And anyone around, right? It may not be like, you have to reach out to someone who is into agile, but it could be anyone, be it your manager in your organization. So if you have to, there are multiple things. Just planning your things, understanding what do you need and how do you have to plan. That's my opinion, team here.
Thanks, Danya, for adding your points. SWOT analysis definitely helps in many cases, not just, as you mentioned, not just for the programs or the project management, even for individual personal agility. Yes, that definitely helps. Yes, anyone else want to add?
Yeah, basically, we may also think, are the teams going towards self-organization, right, or cross-functional, and can they able to, are they able to progress forward without external, or without any monitoring, without like, are they able to do the things on their own? So these were also a few pointers, like where we can see that Scrum Master is enabling the team to do the things themselves.
Okay, and just I would like to add one point, like first step before we focusing on understanding where are we currently as a Scrum Master or any role, right? So we need to understand what is that our organization is expecting from us as a role, whether it could be the product-based organization or a service-based company. If it's service-based, obviously we need to focus on what is that our client is looking for, or what is it our client is expecting us from that role. Accordingly, we need to start mapping our either using SWOT analysis or based upon the points what Bala Ganesh mentioned, right? So if in case the client is expecting the team should be self-organizing, self-managing by end of a year, so we need to start analyzing ourselves as a Scrum Master. Okay, yes, the Q1, how the team is doing in my absence, or will the team be able to do without me being there in person or present? Like that's first we need to understand the organization context. Then it will become easy for us to figure out or map where are we currently, or what is the next steps we have to take for the current role improvement. That's my thoughts. Okay, are you good? Anyone want to add any points? And I guess this goes to the next point as well. How do you know that as a Scrum Master you're doing good? Both we discussed it more or less. Any questions, any thoughts, or any pointers before we go ahead? And career path, as Arun mentioned, each individual, it plays the individual role. It's not like there is no fixed defined career path. Earlier, gone are the days where we should join as a team member, then lead, manager, senior manager, director, vice president. Gone are the days. It is up to us. It's not just about the organization. It is up to us. We should take that lead, or we should take that charge of where or how we want to go ahead. So that is what we need to understand it. Or you can have a conversation with any of your mentors, like Danya mentioned. So make sure you identify your own interest, your own aspect, or your own career path, where you can succeed or where you want to go ahead. It's not just because don't be like an organization like where every other organization is doing Agile, we also be Agile. No, that's not the case, right? So everyone from Scrum Master, they're going for an Agile coach and RT, you also should go the same. No, not at all. It is up to you, or it is up to us. We need to identify our own unique strengths and weakness, and we need to identify what opportunities we have and what's the timelines we are looking for, whether it is immediate or 6 months, 1 year, or 3 months down the line. Accordingly, we need to come up with our plan and we need to take it up. Okay.
Satish,
Are you good?
the question, next question, how do you
Yes.
know that as a Scrum Master? I mean, some part of the question we already covered it, but the question is like, I mean, I see two parts here. One is, as yourself, how do you know that you are performing better? Maybe there is self-assessments. Recently, there are many assessment tools launched in the market. That is one aspect. And when it comes to the appraisal, how do you showcase yourself to your manager when it comes to the appraisal? Because over a period of time, right, even in most of my career as a Scrum Master, I have seen it's very challenging to explain to the manager that I am performing better as a Scrum Master, because we are nowhere accountable for the delivery and we are just accountable for the process and the governance and the facilitation. But for managers, it looks like it's very simple. What is the job you are doing extra?
Exactly.
So the two aspects coming here. Yes.
Yes.
And
Nagesh,
to add,
like,
to add it as one more question for what Nagesh had told. So are there any metrics so that we can showcase during our appraisal saying that I have improved from here to here, something? So mostly instead of qualitative, if we mention quantitative, that makes some sense. Even I face this similar kind of issue.
Definitely.
My
It's like a
understanding.
$1 million question. Every one of us has that.
but Satish, like you told, right, this is all depending on what the organization is expecting from us, right? So we
Yes,
decide
that's
the
first step.
OKR.
That's
We
correct.
set up the OKR, which is the objective and which is the key results we are looking for, right? And
Mm.
based on that, we can show something what has been done, right? So you need to have an objective towards which you can work, so that you can show for you to yourself how much you have progressed. So that is something that you have to work with your organization or with your peers or with your managers. Yeah, like you said again, yes.
Yeah, Arun,
Yeah.
as you said, but during appraisal, it's the same thing has been questioned. So why should I keep you? Why should not I take junior resource? And how you are better than that? So what you have improved? All these questions come up at the 12th month only. 11th month,
I know.
silence. All of a sudden, all these things comes up.
One more
No,
thing.
again, it is you as an individual, right? It is your responsibility to make sure that you have all these bases covered, right? So you need to know, you need to find out that as the first day in which you join the organization, or first day you report itself, you need to find out what is the objective of your role. What are you supposed to, deliver, or what is the result they're expecting from your work, right?
If
And
you don't
that
mind,
is your responsibility.
can I weigh in?
Sure,
Sure, go
sure,
ahead.
Vasu.
See, my manager literally asked me, so how can I measure you? How can I measure a Scrum Master? He's asking me. I said you can use no velocity chart, burn down chart, forget it. I want to measure you. How can I do that?
Yeah.
Give me a way.
Yes.
That's
So
the question to me.
yes, that's the same question. Every one of us, each of us get that, Vasu. I know that. So that is where Arun's point is like, first step, if you understand what is the organization looking for from the team perspective, right? Not as a Scrum Master, because half the times the management might not be aware of what is that a Scrum Master is doing, or how to measure or how to assess a Scrum Master. So my perspective, my thought is like, first understand what is that your manager or your management or client is expecting from your team perspective, right? Our team success is our success. That is what we need to start showcasing. So my point is like, let's suppose if the quality is the concern from the client management or even the management perspective, right? So let's suppose the team is having challenges in the quality deliverables or spill over the stories or dependencies or anything as such, right? So just take a couple of them and see how we as a Scrum Master help the team across the months. It might be yesterday or yesterday day before in one of the group, one of the Scrum Master raised a similar question, right? My Agile coach here, not the manager. The question is like, my Agile coach is asking me to create a user story so that I can show the improvement within the given sprint. What story should I create?
Nice.
Forget about manager. Here, the manager is not the thing. The Agile coach is the one who is
Satish, please come again.
asking.
What is the SP like? Please come again.
The question is like, my Agile coach is asking me as a Scrum Master to create a user story in the tool as an improvement for my team, which I should showcase and complete within a given sprint.
Maybe certain check pointer to assess how it's happening instead of waiting for the retro next 10 days, post 10 days.
Yes, my point is like, we are discussing that as managers are not able to understand. The concern I am having is the Agile coach is asking to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So my point is like, we might not be able to show that improvement within a sprint or two. It might take some time, whether it is the velocity improvement or the quality improvement or the spillovers or the way we define the user stories. It could be any improvement. It could be any improvement as such. We need to start understanding that first in the beginning of the year, not in the 11th month or 12th month, the first month, or maybe before that, or at least by second month. Then only we can come up with a plan or roadmap that, okay, yes, this is the expectation. So when or where or how we get to know, some of these might be defined in our SOWs. Right? So some of the clients where I work, the SOW, it is clearly mentioned, the velocity should improve by 10% every quarter. Simple. Simple. So that is what I focus to help my team, which indirectly I will showcase that is for this quarter, the velocity improvement is by 10% target. And this is how, these are all the practices or the approaches we followed as a team, because of which the velocity improvement happened this much, whether it is 8% or 10 or 12%. Yes. So that is what Arun is trying to mention as well. Yes. Or there is also even I'm trying to mention. Understand what our client or what our organization, what our management is expecting from our team, not from us, from our team. That will help us define the path.
Sorry, sir, can I share my pointer about how to measure as you're a good Scrum Master?
Sure.
So, I was listening that it is generic, that every organization, their manager said, okay, what is your way of measuring? How should I evaluate that? There are 3 Scrum Master and whom should I give the topmost 1, 2, 3 and good rating? So I would like to share my screen for just a minute. Sure, I'm sharing with your permission.
Sure.
Yeah, please give me the access. Thank you.
Sure.
This particular activity I have done in one of my banking client, and it was pretty much effective. Yeah, can everyone see my screen, guys?
Yeah, it is loaded. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes,
So basically, it is, you can see it's a maturity assessment of agility team: pre-crawl, crawl, walk, run, fly, and exit. That is the last part. So you can see the below dimension, the symptoms are less than 25%. Walk is bit stable when kid is, when a newborn is started. So the kid start first crawl, then walk, then eventually run, then he is very much stronger. In our case, when it's run, it is optimum. It means you no need to have a Scrum Master. When you are into fly mode, it means everyone can take up the responsibility. No need to have, hey, we require Scrum Master to, for our facilitation ceremony and daily sync and sprint retro, nothing doing. But the catch is, it is dangerous. The reason, when we are saying exit part, team is very much mature. We don't require Scrum Master. Everyone can pick up their shoes, can start run the show. and product owner will run the grooming session and start planning and set up the ball every time. So need not to worry about. But again, I am saying exit is very much tough, because we as a Scrum Master, we are not full-time dedicated to one single team. We might jump one team to another. If we don't have another team, maybe another engagement in the same program level, multiple projects we need to take care of. If that program got exhausted or completed due to budget or anything, we need to search for another business unit, another program altogether. So this is how it is. So if at all someone is asking, hey, what is your credibility as Scrum Master, I request do this assessment with your team. There are multiple framework. Just you need to fetch the data, customize accordingly, some twist and tweak, share the data with manager. Hey, this is what before my joining with the team, this is what with current, and this is the number. So I think I am pretty much desirable, and this is where we are. So I think your manager will definitely agree to it. And this is what I did when I put down my papers and I tried to leave the organization. So this is what actually happening. And this is where, even for example, from your standpoint, how I am growing as Scrum Master, what are the loopholes I have, what are the plus point, minus point I have, how I should improvise myself. So this is pretty much effective. So I request post this session, if you have any bandwidth, go for it and try to evaluate yourself with yourself first, teams, and of course, as we are into which very much tough quarter, JFM, Brazil time, you can evaluate yourself also. So that's what I want to showcase. So basically, we called as a pre-crawl maturity assessment, of course, pre-crawl, crawl, walk, run, fly, and the last one is exit. This is where we need to out from the team. Team is very much mature, and we need not to poke each and every time the team members for their ceremonies, their any kind of events, right? So they are very much mature. So yeah, over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Shashank, there would be organization level and program level assessment also, right? This is team level.
This is basically team level.
Yes.
Once team is pretty much good enough in their shape, then it will go to the project, how my project is working, and whatever the profit it is generating from the project, it will distribute to irrespective of project members. So basically what I gave you the example, it's from team level, right? It can be and the same assessment can be done with different context, different subject line, and of course the inputs with your program project level, and of course the portfolio is the highest one.
Yeah, thanks. Danya was mentioning this is similar to Shuhari perspective. Yes, Danya. Nagesh, over to you.
Hey, hi.
I mean,
Sharath here.
Hi, Sharath.
Hey, hi.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got cold.
Sure, Sharath.
So my tone, it was like Amrish Puri. Who is that actor? Yeah.
Thanks.
Completely
Thanks
different tone.
Sure.
Yeah. I just want to share my perspective. Very good discussion that is happening. I'm very much happy with these kind of discussions. My 2 cents is as people were telling, first of all, even your boss, whoever it is at any level, as you told, at the senior manager level or VP level or SVP, whoever it is, at times they may or may not be knowing how to measure you. It's not their fault also, because they came from different background and you are from a different background. And sometimes, as someone told, we might be realizing at the end of the year that how can I measure you? So to avoid all this, it's better to have a dialogue with the boss, whoever it is. Even though boss don't initiate that discussion at the beginning of the year, we should not feel happy that, yeah, anyways, I can cook up something at the end of the year. Those kind of things don't work. So better every Scrum Master initiate those kind of discussions, like what role for for which I'm in here, and how can I get measured at the end of the year, right? So when it comes to what are the different areas that we can get measured, right, as a Scrum Master, means if I'm telling from couple of scenario perspective. Suppose if you are handling a transformation, right? So you can start with, how you are going to create the complete framework, right? And how you are going to apply that framework across the team or teams that you are going to handle as a Scrum Master, right? So creating those frameworks, customizing to the organization is not that easy, right? It will take certain amount of time for you to understand the teams and create proper roadmap along with along with the objectives that you are going to achieve, right, for the team. So it's always good instead of getting it measured at the end of the year. It's always good to have a quarterly reviews. I know it becomes tough when my boss told me at the beginning of the year. I felt very much that I will be cooked into a boiler plate, but soon I realized that it's gonna be much more effective when you do the quarterly review instead of half-yearly or annually review of whatever your goals are, right? So that is with respect to the transmission framework that you are going to share. Then how you are going to execute that, right? Then the kind of projects that you are going to work on. Suppose you will be given some line of business projects, right, or products that you need to work on, right? You have to run the product successfully without any hassle, right? Following the agile framework, right? Whatever is the ingredients that are there. Then, as I think Shashank told, maturity levels, understanding the maturity levels of the teams to see where they are, what can be done moving forward. These are all, by the way, quarterly reviews, sir. Okay, every quarter we'll be diligently reviewing all these areas, and then you can check with respect to DevOps and other areas. If you are going to get involved over there also, there, as we all know, we won't be getting deep into the technical part of it, but how to implement the CI/CD pipelines, right? What are the effective tools that we can suggest? Of course, tech teams are very much brighter than us. May not be in every organization where you can step in and advise something and create some difference. And then in terms of engineering practices, right? If the organization is aware, that is fine. Otherwise, how you are going to, what is your understanding and how you can create that difference? Then trainings, right? It's the basic bread and butter of a Scrum Master or a coach to conduct training. So, what trainings you are going to conduct, how effectively you are going to do it, right? So, yeah, like this, there are a lot of areas where you can pitch in yourself that this is the vision that I'm going to, or change that I'm going to bring at the end of the year. May not be for multiple line of business, but I'll start as a pilot with single line of business and will be scattered over the next few months or few years, depending on the kind of complexity of the project. So this is how you can take it forward. So these are my 2 cents. Others can add.
Thanks, Sharat. Nagesh has something to add.
Thank you, Sharath, for adding all these things. I am just curious to know, you're a delivery manager or a Scrum Master?
in industry, very good question. Very good question. It's all masala in an organization, right? Currently, by role, I'm working as an agile coach, but yeah, with my kind of deliverables or my kind of this thing, you might have understood as a you can call me anything, but as long as my organization is accepting me, I'm fine.
Okay, wonderful. So I think in the interest of time, maybe let me put it this way, because someone explained the stages, but there is no criteria that the team will go only in the linear direction in any of the performance. That sometimes they come back because of the conflicts or because of the new team members joining the team. It can happen anytime. So I think I am pretty good. Maybe I think if there is a time limit, maybe we can go ahead with the next topic.
Sure. Thanks, Nagesh, for that. Before going ahead with the next thing, I just want to add one small point regarding this question. Why we discuss this much of time for this, right? Because this is not just for our internal appraisals or the reviews. The same question we might be getting in the interviews as well. See, half the times what we are observing is like we, as a panelist, we are getting hundreds of thousands of profiles. Every profile it is mentioned as facilitating sprint planning, facilitating daily stand-up, facilitating retrospective, or coordinating with my Scrum team, coordinating with my product owner. So out of those 100 profiles, how do we as a panelist pick up which candidate should be getting the job? Either during the review of the resume or during the discussions as well in the interviews, right? So that is where we need to start focusing on how we showcase ourselves, what are the work we did in an effective way, especially during the appraisal or during the interviews as well. So that's the reason we need to start focusing or understanding it from the beginning at the earliest possible. Okay, are you good?
Good.
And have one-to-one
more
connects with
thing
your
to-
manager on
Yes.
regular basis. In my previous project, we used to have at least two weeks. We used to have a connect at least 2 times in a month. So that's how I used to get the feedback from the manager whether I am on track or
Yes.
are there any changes required. I think, see, being in this agile world, we always expect the customer to give the feedback on a regular basis, right? Why not be the case here when it comes to the appraisal from your manager?
Yes, that's true. That's true. But, and again, not to prolong the discussion, just to wrap up, whatever the manager discussed during the one-on-ones every bi-weekly or weekly or once in a month, end of the year, whatever happens in the review, right? That doesn't mean like they don't know what we did or how much work we did, but still they will ask. It's like Indian ad, right? Like, kitna dega? Kya fayda?
But in this for this one particular question, I have kind of a doubt. So
can I weigh
compare.
in before your doubt, please?
Sorry.
I have a point to make. I was trying for some time. See, we follow something called Agile Maturity Index, AMI. Every end of the first 2 sprints, in the month there will be 2 sprints, correct? End of the month we will do that with the with the whole project. Will go for it. I'll share that. Okay. So it will give you a spider graph. And 0 is crawl, 1 is walk, 2 is run, 3 is fly. So if the team average is going up, that means that the team is maturing. As a Scrum Master, you are doing your job. This is one basic thing that we take for our organization, and we are measuring the Scrum Masters.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Thanks, Vasu.
That's one thing. I will share that Excel to the group, so this can be used by everybody.
Sure.
When you say average, what average?
No, there are 30 questions in that.
Every month, once we do the review rate, the average we will be getting, that will be measured across the months, like month of January, month of February, March, April.
So
every
quarter we have our appraisal, we have our discussion, appraisal discussion.
Quarterly
that is taken up.
Yeah, there is nothing right or wrong. Where you can share in the group, probably others can take some catchy things from there.
Yes.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
in this particular thing, where how we are doing it, a comparison is happening in between in the RTA artists. So that team in the ART is doing good. That is Scrum Master is had improved on this, so we have not improved. So this is also happening. So when there is a particular things happening in between the ARTs, so the measurement differs from a team to team inside that. So how to overcome this?
See, the way, if you ask me, the way how we are not supposed to compare the teams, same is the case. We shouldn't compare the Scrum Masters as well. But of course, as we all know, again, end of the day, if you have 10 Scrum Masters, the comparison happen, who is the top or who is the best, who needs to improvement sort of thing. That happens at the manager level. That comparison, that might not be coming up directly with us as an individual, but it might be among the manager. They will be taking that what to say, the comparison or anything. But if you ask me, the comparison should be within ourselves or within our team, from the past quarter to this quarter or past release to this release. or past year to this year. So whatever it is, with our own historical reference, we need to measure or we need to compare.
So, sir, can I add one point on it with respect to this?
Sure. Last point before you go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, of course. So what happens now, multiple times the expectation would be okay, fine, you are working on client engagement, that's fine, and you are doing amazing job, that's fine, but how much you are implementing to organizational levels? We have community of practice within the organization and center of excellence within the organization. How much you are giving effort? So I think that is one area our supervisor or manager would like to see. Okay, you are working on client gave you appreciation on email, on communication, and monthly connect and whatever it is. But on the contrary, how much you are giving? You saying that you are RT, but are you educating our team member? Are you educating the Scrum Master within our team in our portal? The answer would be no. If you are dedicatedly working for 8 hours for client, what is our ROI? Okay, so for that purpose, they want to evaluate, okay, at least in 20 days of working hours, can you give some spare time? Can you give some training session within to our new engaged Scrum Master, or aspiring to be Scrum Master, or aspiring to be the product owners or program manager, right? So that we need not to invest the money from outside to a trainer to hire the trainer and educate the within organization. If you are that much capable, then we should have the good return of investment to hiring you in the first place, right? I think that is one area what they're anticipating, and they're not wrong, right? So if at all I am being a Scrum Master, if my enthusiasm is on the internal audit purpose or internal project, right, that I want to be part of how the audit are going to be internally in process or project. Yesterday I spoke to my PMO, okay, I want to be part of this particular thing. So he said, yes, we are happy to have you on this particular thing, internal process or internal audit. So I think that is one thing they want to evaluate on us, apart from regular work, what we are doing in typically client engagement or client work. So that's what I want to add.
Yeah, that is again going back to the initial point, Shashank. Like we need to understand what is our manager versus what is our client is expecting out of us. Yeah. Only when we have that discussion, we will get to know. Otherwise, end of the year, we might get the same point. Like you did only the client deliverables, nothing from the organization perspective. Yes.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yes. Okay. Yes. We had enough discussion on that. Let's move ahead. How do you explain Kanban to a layman? Interesting question. Who would like to take it up?
I mean, by the way, I added this question. This came up in one of my interviews as a coach.
Okay.
So I explained a lot of things, but still the interviewer was not satisfied. I used all the terminologies what is there in Kanban. But I just wanted to hear the perspectives.
I also got same question in one of the interviews.
Yeah, okay. Good,
Maybe we can hear different perspectives from this group.
Definitely. I just to add on, not the answer, but just to mention, the focus on Kanban is increasing across the organizations. So
Absolutely.
many times we are hearing coming back that the role is mentioned as Scrum Master or Agile coach, but we are getting questions on Kanban as well in the interviews. So
Correct.
be prepared. So we might get a question similar to this. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Who would like to go for this?
Yeah, but Kanban is how, as an individual, we usually run our daily lives, right? So we know what we are supposed to do every day. So we get up, we know what is the priority. We get up, probably brush our teeth first, and maybe take bath. I don't know whichever order you want to do that, and then go to the next one, which is, I don't know, if you feel that you need to do some exercise, you do some exercise. Otherwise, if it is not in your list, you don't do the exercise. You just go to the next one, whatever it is that, and that's how you do that. So you don't like have any separate planning meeting or anything initially. You just know what are the stuff to be done. You know what's the order to be done, and each work is going to take how much time it's going to be, and yeah, at least that's how I would look at it.
Okay. Thanks, Arun. Anyone else?
Kanban is a flow of work from one phase to another phase, and it is easy to track where we are exactly at a particular point of time. How much work is in progress and how much work is remaining, and what is the work in progress limit. that also we can get it from the Kanban.
Uh,
That's what my
Vasu,
understand.
yes, I agree with you. But the question here is like to explain Kanban to a layman. They may not understand flow. They may not understand the cycle time.
That's why I need answer for that question. Sorry.
Okay.
Sure. No. I'm
Team, I
just
just
telling
shared.
because
Sorry.
yes, Danya.
I just shared one of the YouTube. It is from Atlassian only. That helped me how well we can explain, right? Especially we have to focus on the WIP limit, right? So for any of the common men, we can consider at any point of time, we can do, at our best, one activity. And if we do the two activities, then it's great. And if we do three things, we can just relate to ourselves that we might lack in delivering any of the activities. We can consider our day-to-day daily activities. Being a mom, right? We can explain our own scenarios and then how is the efficiency of it. Naga, maybe I don't know if you have used these terminologies while giving your reviews. Otherwise, I just shared one of the link which I was going through a couple of days back, and maybe that can help.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Danya, for that. Again, just to add masala, the panelists might have already gone through that Atlassian video, right? So they might expect a different answer or different perspective. You might say, hey, I'm a layman. I don't know anything about this. So let me, explain. See, all these questions are asked to understand how well we understood the concepts. There is no one single right answer for that.
No.
Right? There is no one single right answer. Nagesh, as you mentioned, right? So what are the answers you gave or Vasu gave might be correct or might be valid from the Kanban guide perspective or from the day-to-day implementation perspective. But the panelists might be expecting something different. Right? There is no if you go and search what is Kanban or how do you explain Kanban, it might be only one fixed defined answer. But here the question is, how do you explain Kanban to a layman? There is no one single answer for that. Right? Like define Agile manifesto, define Scrum. We have the fixed definitions, fixed answers for those. But these type of questions, it is being asked to check how well we understood the concept. That's it. Okay. So anyone want to give a try before or take it up before I share my points?
Give your points.
Yeah. Maybe you can start with, can you hear me?
Yes, Sharat, we are able to.
Maybe you can start answering the question with, stop, starting and start finishing. That's I think a layman language, which everyone can speak. Right. That is how the Kanban works. And then you can go with the, definition flow and all. What are the different items that we care?
Yeah, one more point we can say is like whatever system you are in, just try to visualize it using a billboard. So just mention the stages of the process, right? Define the process, each and every step, and visualize it, and then try to see if you can improve.
Balaganesh, the question, right? Okay, you look at it slightly different. Instead of putting it as a layman, right? Think of it as explaining what is Kanban to a 8-year-old, right? That is that Feynman technique they call it, right? Where that is where you kind of realize how each specific word that you say, right, how important it is. So whatever answer you gave, right, that assumes that whoever is hearing that understands the meaning of those words, like which task or whatever you meant, right? So how would you explain it to a 10-year-old? Okay, let's say how would you explain Kanban to a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old? Somebody who understands English, but does not understand a lot of your.
That's why I just told try to make a visual signboard, and then whatever stages are involved, you just try to visualize it using anything. It's a kind of a signboard. Just visualize all your process or steps in the form of a signboard. So that in a sense explains what Kanban is. And yeah, whatever process or progresses are there in your system or whatever you take, make it visible and just see where is there any detect where is there any time that you can manage in a better way, or you can able to improve the efficiency of the system by using some tweaks and all. Then comes, I'm not using limiting work in progress, or I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying put a signboard of your processes involved and just see if you can able to improve something on top of the current system.
Bala, not to defend, but why should I visualize when I know what all things I need to do?
You know everything.
I know everything what I need to do.
Yeah,
Why
you
should
know
I
everything.
visualize?
If there is nothing required, right? So Kanban also is not required.
No, that's how the question would be.
Sorry to
Yes.
here. It's not about I. Kanban is for the team, right? It is to visualize for an entire team, like what are the items that is in progress, what is there in a backlog, and what needs to be completed.
Hey,
Even
that
it is.
we all
Can
know
I
about
say it this
Kanban.
way?
Only
For it
thing is
is
how
a
to
10-year-old.
explain it to. How to
For
explain it to
yeah.
Yeah,
For a 10-year-old, if we can say that, not exactly, but kind of, it's a, if you look at that 10-year-old kid of 5th standard and all, they have a timetable printed or written and stuck on the wall. So they know what is happening on Friday, Monday, second period, fifth period. So not similar to that for them to understand, right? So it's a pictorial representation, what is where, what is what, and how much, all these things. That holds good the understanding of the entire picture. Let it be a weekly timetable or a project where we are.
Okay. So can I add my pointers? Yeah, Balaganesh, you're saying something?
Yes. Yeah. We can start simply in a way that they can understand, and then introduce the concept of highest priority, reducing waste, and bottleneck. And I think, we should.
Balaganesh, homework for you, man. Homework for you. Find a 10-year-old, teach him Kanban, and come back. Let's see.
Balaganesh, the moment we mention, see, we are talking about a layman who might be nowhere in the IT, or a 10-year-old who might be nowhere near to the IT or the wastage, reduce the wastage. Of course, these are all the concepts of Kanban. Yes, but to make them understand what is Kanban in a layman, in a common language, common day-to-day conversation is what the context is. Okay. So I tried in two different examples or two different perspectives, one with my wife and one with my kid. So maybe let me add my pointers. So first with my wife, I took an example of a customer care. Right. ICICI Bank, for example, right? So ICICI Bank customer care team is there. So we as a customer, until we call them or until we chat with them or until we reach out to them, they never know what the request we are about to raise to them. Right? As a customer, I can reach out to the customer care team to change a phone number or to unlock my account, to do a transfer, or it could be anything, to open a new account. It could be any of the thing which that support team is capable of doing. If I reach out to one of the, let's suppose Balaganesh is the customer care agent whom I got connected. He is capable of doing any request which I am raising as a customer, which is indirectly covering the cross-skill, cross-functional functionality. Then next thing is like, based upon the type of request, they will take the time to process it. Whether if it is a change in phone number, they might say we can do it only after 2 days, because to avoid the fraud or anything. Or if it is a doing a transfer, they might be doing it immediately. So that brings up the concept of SLAs. Right? So, I mean, this is one way we can try to explain by taking a generic day-to-day example. There is one thing. The second example which I use is like Subway. If you go to Subway and place an order, at each and every step, they will ask, okay, what type of bread you want? then what toppings you want, or you want it baked or plain. You want it here or to go. Each and every step, they are interacting with the customer and they are making sure the customer requirements are met. And their whole focus is to make sure the order, whichever is placed, is delivered in the shortest possible time. Then we can add on top of it. This is the two examples which I tried with my wife and with my kids to make them understand what is a Kanban versus what is Scrum.
Which one do you think will work with the interviewer, Satish?
Interviewer we can take, like let's suppose if it is a banking client, you can take the banking customer care as an example, or if you take the telecom or insurance, anything, right? So you can take that customer care example perspective, then you can make the hey, let's suppose you as a customer, you reach out to your customer care. This is the process it might happen. Right? If they say no, it is still high level, then you can shift to the subway example, which is like anyone can should be able to correlate at least. We never use the none of the Kanban concepts or terminologies. Once we explain example, then we can mention, hey, at this point we can bring in this like the SLAs or this time limit or the WIP limit or cross-functional skill set, anything related to that Kanban concepts as a extension to the answer.
Sure. I mean, the visualization, what I asked the question, right, in during our conversation, as Danya mentioned, I think even I also explained the same thing during our conversation with the interviewer, saying that how many items you are working on at a time, just to visualize that thing, so that you know how much time it is taking to finish both the items together. And if you need to complete one item at a time, how much time it is taking. So probably I think that will help you.
Yes.
That's the reason visualization is required, to know how many items you are working at a time.
That's correct. And the same thing I showed the McDonald's or KFC order board, like in the restaurants, right? So whenever you place an order, the order will get added, now serving or now preparing. That I showed, oh yes, this is how you can visualize in the day-to-day perspective as well. No, need not be just the IT team, need not be using the Jira or ADO or any tool. This Agile is there in our day-to-day. That's what my perspective. Okay, are you good? Any points, any questions?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So yes, the next question. In the first 60 days or 90 days after joining a new company as a PM or SM, should this person be in passive observation mode or elicit all findings with relevant stakeholders? Again, another interesting question.
PM means product manager or project manager?
The same question. There is project or program manager. Could be project manager, my understanding.
Okay.
Because that's what many organizations are looking for. SM or PM combination, Scrum Master and project manager combination. So I'm assuming that.
Just want to know, can the person who has wrote this, can he be specific what actually the answer you want to know, or can he able to explain us? That will be great.
See, typically,
but the question is straightforward, right?
Yeah, the question is straightforward, Sishan.
Okay.
See, any organization, they ask not after joining, even during the interviews as well, they might be asking this question, right? Hey, what's your 30, 60 day and 90 days plan once you join the project or the organization? They might be asking this question. So it's a pretty straightforward question.
So for SM perspective, I would like to say he need to very much not too much vocal. He need to understand how things are going on, and slowly, steadily, he need to make his observation, and slowly, then only he can need to pitch it within the team level and from management perspective. Instead of directly going and banging, hey, this is not good, this is not bad, I'm a Scrum Master, listen to me first, not effective. So you need to listen first, how things are happening, then maybe connect with one-on-one or team level engagement. That will help to understand more from team perspective, culture perspective, how they're working and what is the pain area. I think that that part is very much effective, as we have 30, 60 to 90 days model. So maybe one quarter we can say. So generally, what I used to do for whenever I join a new engagement or new organization, I try to observe for a 2-week time. So how things are moving on, because our first 5 days is very much crucial to set up the set up the bridge between the team members and the Scrum Master, and how they are doing, and the observation makes crucial. And you need to be very much thought process, how you need to very much you to have that thought key, how to fix that one, not from the perspective of Scrum Master, hey, we need to focus is no, you need to educate day in day out. After some period of time, maybe 2 weeks after, that will be ideal time. And don't be judgmental, to be honest, whether developer is not doing effective code or the tester is not doing effective testing. You need to understand the pain area of each and every individual, starting from the business to the delivery part. Yeah.
Can I add in? The thing is,
Sure, Vasu.
we observe first. When I took up this role for Equinity as a Scrum Master stroke RT, so first thing is I observe for the first sprint completely. I was sitting as an observer and seeing where the anti-patterns are coming. And then I started gelling with the team. It took me the second sprint, I was able to be part of the team. The team has to agree that this person is Scrum Master, he is part of our team, and we have to give him due respect as well. So that we have to gain. Then from the third sprint, we can slowly start talking to them. You should not boss around. You should start talking to them and then bring them into our, the icebreakers will happen. And then finally, the team will accept you, and then things goes on and on and on. So this is what I have observed, and this worked for me. That's my 2 cents.
Sure. Thanks.
And to add to that, we have to play a wait and watch thing. So first sprint, be an observer. In the meantime, try to gel with the team. So that is what it is. So if they have any problems, try to.
Yes, Venkatesh. You're on mute. Okay. Looks like you're on mute. I prefer following the similar approach, like I mentioned in the chat: observe, assess or analyze, and then respond or react. I call it as OAR approach. But the timelines is what it might matter or it might differ. There is no fixed timelines that first 1 sprint or 2 sprint we need to observe, or maybe first quarter or first month might not be. Because my personal experience in one of the startup, what happened is they hired a consultant agile coach, and by end of first sprint, throughout that first sprint, which is like the first 2 weeks of the joining, he was having interaction with different stakeholders, making notes and everything ready. End of first sprint or the end of 2 weeks, the manager or the client or the whoever is head, he asked them, "Hey boss, what is it you're doing? Or you are here for 2 weeks. What is it you did?" He simply mentioned, "I was having interviews, I was in discussions with different folks." Immediately on the spot, they mentioned, "Boss, this is not your hired for. What is the benefit you brought in these 2 weeks? Nothing. Thanks for your service. Bye." So we need to understand the pulse of the organization or the leadership or the client, whoever we are working for, and accordingly This approach is same, but the frequency of the timelines might differ. Some might expect you to, or we, including me, we to get ready up and running from day one or sprint one. We need to understand that the pulse. Otherwise, it could be tough. Right? So we should be first, forget about others. We need to have that safe space. We need to be there present to bring that improvement to the team. Right? So we need to make space for ourselves as well. That's my observation with a couple of organizations and a couple of different folks. Okay, are you good? Okay, yes. So how to prepare for transition from developer to product manager role? Please discuss the roadmap.
This is a very generic question. So anytime you want to transition from any role to any role, whatever you need to do is you need to find out about the new role, and there are a lot of articles, a lot of stuff in the YouTube, in the internet to find out about the new role that you want to switch. Then you need to self-assess to find out whether you're actually interested to go to the new role. And if yes, try to see what you can do for going to the new role. So I don't see there's any, any simpler answer for any transition or any big change.
That's true. That's correct, Arun. Anyone else? One thing, especially for the product owner or product manager or business analyst role, my point is like, first step, we need to understand the domain expertise. How well we need to be aware of the domain, the modules which you are working upon. That plays a very key role for any of these product roles. As a Scrum Master or as a Agile coach, we might need the basics idea awareness of the domain. But as a product owner, as a product manager, as a business analyst, any of the product related roles, domain expertise or domain experience plays a very, very, very crucial role. Without which, we won't be able to understand what the customer is expecting. We won't be able to define that requirements in the features or the stories, or we won't be able to clarify the questions of the doubts of the team, or we won't be able to explain the business value to the business stakeholders. So that is the first key skill set which we need to start focusing on, especially for the product roles. That's what my point. So the roadmap, again, we need to come up with our own roadmap. Where are we on the business domain perspective? How well I know my business, which the module or the project or the application which I'm working upon. Right. So accordingly, we need to start coming up with. Then what is the tools, what is the techniques, what is the approaches the product managers use? And where am I currently versus what is it required to improve?
Hello, sorry.
Yes, Vasu.
Something happened. So sorry.
Sure. No worries. That's fine. And I guess the same goes to the next point as well. What are the things we need to know before transit from test lead to Scrum Master or PM? Again, PM in the sense project manager, I'm assuming. Oh, similar question, not the same question, but similar question. So you need to be aware of that. What is that?
Satish,
Where are we currently?
Yes, sorry to interrupt, Satish. For the developer to product manager, right? You guys have covered very well. One more thing is, certifications. It's not compulsory. If you spend good amount of time with any mentors, probably you can catch up what are the roles and responsibilities that a product owner can handle, not only theoretically, but with some practical scenarios and, use cases and all. But a certification will help them reduce that, that complexity of spending time for that role, where they might catch up at least 50% of it. The rest of the 50% depends on how quickly they can understand those each and every responsibility, how they go deep into it as a product manager. So that will help them to land into a product owner or product manager role. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, sir, I just want to add one more thing. From the transition, see, these two are role specific, and when we are saying about product manager, it means we need to lead a group of product owner in an organization from the to achieve the business objective. I am quoting this one from the book by Roman Pichler, who is eminent author and trainer for product specialization. He wrote a book called Agile Product Management with Scrum. So generally I do read a book. So this is the link I'm sharing. In that, he's specifically saying that there is a difference, good amount difference between business analyst, product owner, and product manager. So if you're targeting for product manager specific role, which means you need to lead a group of product owner in an organization, and you have the common visionary that you need to be a product space, right? If the candidate is ready to take that much heat, as you said, that we need to have the good business acumen, and and Sarat sir said that we need to have good training and we have to have good mentor to train us to understand the vision. This part we need to understand that, hey, directly we cannot go with the leading position. Let's start with ground rule, and then when we have that good grasp of knowledge, business acumen, process, terminologies are working and all with all kind of expertise, yes, that time we are pretty much able to lead a bunch of product owner and product enthusiasts to build a product. So I'm pasting this particular URL. Those who are interested to read this particular book can leverage that one, so that they have the good mindset of product thing. And for the next one, to lead transition from test lead to Scrum Master, yes, me and you, we carry the same background of testing and QA. So I personally basically unlearn many of things, to be honest. Number one, the thought was, hey, this is not a techie role. You have to unlearn that this is something which need to play with your thought process, your mindset, and many of the things. So you have to unlearn good number of things. You should not be a thing that you cannot jump and with your key tester and develop a, hey, provide the build, my tester need to send that authoritative power. You don't have it. Unless until you have that on, try to remove before you going to Scrum Master role, because it is more into educating, coaching, and mentoring role, irrespective whether you are test lead, dev lead, and so on and so forth. So you have to unlearn a lot of things before you take this role, and you have to educate yourself before you go with Scrum Master. So it is very difficult, to be honest. It is not that easy to go with that. You have to go with a lot of learning. I'm sure that many of us have done that in past, and that's why we are into Scrum Master role. But you have to have that enthusiasm that I want to become a Scrum Master and I need to play these roles in my org. Yeah.
Thanks, Shashank, for that link and the pointers. You're all able to see my screen, the YouTube screen. You're able to, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so I try to do different way. So what I started is like in the March 2022, I started myself like creating different videos or different sessions for related to product manager, and I started recording and started publishing on YouTube. And it's not just recording the session, we did hands-on session with the different folks, like how to create a vision, how to create strategy, how to create persona, customer journey map. And the same way we had another hands-on activity for user story mapping, another hands-on activity for the user story definition, and another hands-on activity for the prioritization. All this I started in 2022, and I started publishing on LinkedIn and YouTube. So if I apply for a product manager role, I said, yes, I have experience from 2022. I'm doing all these things as a product manager. That is how I created a different way to start publishing myself on the social media, which might, I'm not saying that this will help, which might help me get some hands-on or get some experience on what the challenges or what is required for playing the product manager role. And these hands-on activities, right? There is a different groups. The way how we are having a open conversation now, the same way I had a discussion with product owners, product managers, and business analysts from different organizations. I posted that I am planning to do this session. They all joined from different organizations, and that's when I did that hands-on activities, and we did that. I learned a lot from them directly, because when they're doing the hands-on, they raise the questions, they raise the concerns, or they mention that this is not, it is supposed to be, or this is supposed to be explained in this way, or this to be defined in this way. So I learned directly or indirectly from them. Right. So yes, this is my way how I did, or how I started publishing or showcasing myself as a product manager. Now, if in case I want to apply, stating that, hey, now that, hey, this is my experience playing the role of product manager, I might have a good chance or opportunity to crack an interview. I mean, just sort of sharing, because the question is from the product management perspective. Okay, are you good?
Good. Can you share your channel, sir?
Sure, sir. I will share that link. Okay, so are you good with this test lead and Scrum Master or VM, or we need anything to discuss?
No, it's the same thing, right? We can skip.
Same thing, yes. Okay. Yes. And the effective retrospectives and good tools for the same, apart from Confluence. I'll be quiet for some while, so we can start.
My question is how to do effective retrospectives. Not for the sake of doing retrospectives. Can someone give me some suggestions?
So first of all, I mean, if the team is not attending the retrospectives or participating in the discussion, what would be the reason that we need to identify? Are we closing the action items which were raised in the previous retrospections? That is another question. Then later on, we can think about if there is a different way or template different, because in Miro you have a different template, sailboat or island, Mats at Glad, a lot of other templates. But templates are third priority. The first priority is always tracking the action items. That's how they always feel that their voice is heard and there is someone who is taking care. Otherwise, if every time they are raising the voice in the retrospection, nobody is taking any action, then end of the day, there is no interest. Even though you come up with a very visualized templates using Miro or Mural or whatever it may be. So that's my observation based on my experience.
I had a different kind of experience. So during the retro, even in let it be 2 teams or 3 teams, they will give all positive feedbacks. But at the behind, there was some kind of not happy with that. So what I practiced was I called everybody who doesn't want to be open in the forum. So I called after the forum or before the forum, collect the feedback and put it in one bucket as I mean in 5 buckets, which one went right, which one went wrong in an anonymous mode. So that way people came up with their issues in person, but not in the forum. So that will be effective then. So at the end of the day, we need the issues or the actual retro points. So I collected that way.
So you did a 1-to-1 and then you did it.
Yes, most some of them were not ready to speak against the tech lead. So it was not coming out, and 2 sprints we suffered with the kind of APK deployed and other things. So we found it that they don't want to openly speak about them. So, but I need the retro to improve on that. So we got the points anonymously. So worked on that, and at the end of the second quarter, we did see the improvements.
Okay. Any other ways we can? There is a concept called visitor, participator. There is one concept. Do any of you know that in the retrospectives? Team can be segregated as visitors, players, participators.
Okay, I am on mute. Sorry for that. Vasu might not be in the retrospective because retrospective we might not have any visitors. Visitors, participators can be from the daily stand-up or sprint planning or sprint review perspective, but not from the retrospective perspective.
No,
because
not asking about the people inside the team itself. Some people will play the role of a visitor. They will be in the team and
okay.
they'll be like a visitor doing the work, and then they don't participate in anything. And there is a player who is the one who is playing the whole game. Okay, there is someone who participates. Kind of a person who does. He will assist the player to at least he will participate and assist the player. Assister, there will be an assistant, and then there will be a participator. The assistant will assist the team and the player to play the game. So, do you have any idea about it?
Not exactly, but yes, let's wrap up this retrospective point and then we can come to that. Okay. So there are different liberating structures, approaches or techniques which can be used for what do you say, any event or any context, but some of them could be more relevant from the retrospective perspective, right? One of it is 1, 2, 4, all, right? What is it? 1, 2, 4, all. Each team member should take some 5 minutes of time. They need to list down the format, whether it is what went well, what didn't went well, what could have been done better, or any of the format, retrospective format. They need to list down their pointers. Then 2 members group, they will discuss or they will share their pointers. Then 4 members will come together and discuss. Then all of them will come together and they will share it. So this way, even if someone, let's suppose you and me, we both are team members, or we both are in the second step, 2 members. So I might be saying that Vasu, the whole sprint went well, everything is good. We achieved all the 100% of the commitment and everything. But you might be saying, Satish, we might have achieved 100%, but we had struggled to get that dependency resolved by so and so team. Right. So then I might say, oh yeah, I forgot about it. Like, thanks for reminding me. Let's add that point to the retrospective. How to resolve that dependency or how to handle effective dependency. Like that. So in this process, 1, 2, 4, all, the project manager or the team, the Scrum Master might not be there. Only the team members will be discussing among themselves. That way, we are providing them the safe space to discuss, safe space to come up and open and start having the discussion among themselves. Right? That is one approach. The another approach is like a celebrity interview. This is a little bit risky, tricky approach, but
which one?
At times it might have celebrity interview. Celebrity interview. So what that is like, we will take one of the team member and we will start asking, let's suppose you as a team member, I will start asking you, hi Vasu, welcome to the sprint retrospective. How do you feel the sprint happened? What challenges we as a team might have faced, or what we could have been done better? So the team, we will start interviewing the team or the team member, one of the team member. So this approach can help, but at the same time, it has its own risk. So you as a team member might raise a concern. What the other team member or what my manager or what my product owner might think or feel if I give a statement against them, or the tech lead or the team lead point which you're discussing, right? What my team member might be thinking if I raise a concern against them or against him. Right? So, but the celebrity interview could be one of the technique.
This is what you're following, celebrity interview.
Okay, cool.
But
Yes.
it's not giving a result. They are scared.
And follow 1, 2 for all. Try once. Just try once.
Yeah,
And
Satish, 1, 2 for all, it happens even behind the screen as well. So at the end of the day, they discuss between themselves, so it is happening there. So do we have to have a
yes, yes,
separate
yes.
1 to 4 all?
No, the retrospective approach, which I'm talking about. Further retrospective.
Okay, okay.
Right? So they will be discussing, but they will be discussing about the deliverables or about the stories, about the coordination they need and everything, right? Now this focus is on how to get that effective retrospective pointers or improvements to that point. See, end of the day, the retrospect, why we are doing, it's not just because another checklist item. It is to help the team improve their way of working, right? Like that, there are different techniques like heard, seen, respected, or another conversation, another point. All these are like helpful from different perspectives, right? These are all the different facilitation techniques which we can use it.
Can you share the link for this?
Sure, yes. Liberating structures, okay. And the tools you're talking about, right? We have easyretro, easyretro.io, if I'm not wrong. And yes, easyretro. Here itself, they have different templates, and we can use it for free. The fun sprint retrospective is not just the retrospective, see the brainstorming, team building, icebreakers, lot of templates are there, use cases within this. So let's suppose if you go for retrospectives, they are giving different templates. What went well, the start, stop, continue, 4Ls retrospective, sailboat, match, satellite, different templates are available. So as any of the tool you can use, these are all anonymous tools. Right, so you
We
can
have
use
Miro in the office, so we'll be using Miro board as well.
Yes, I mean,
Easy
because the
Retro is
question is about
completely free,
different
correct?
templates. Sorry?
Easy Retro is completely free.
No. It is like paid version as well, but for one team, yes, we can start for free.
Okay.
Right?
For 3 boards, it is free, I think.
Yeah,
After
for
that,
2-3 boards,
don't
it is
allow.
free. And we have ideaboards.com. This is totally free. These are all different tools, right? So here, when we create the tool, it will ask the retrospective, starfish, 6 thinking hats. We can name our own sections. This is again a totally anonymous tool, totally free tool. I can share the links on the chat, ideaboards.com, because these are all free versions, right? Because the Confluence, what the challenge we had is like, whoever add a point, it will become like it will tag with their name. So that is another challenge or another observation where the team members are hesitating to add the pointers.
Yeah, it's not anonymous, so we don't get.
Yes. So exactly. So that's where we can create a idea boards free versions in the retrospective, what went well, what can be input action items. This is totally anonymous. Once the pointers are created, you as a Scrum Master can copy paste into that Confluence page so that only your name will come up there.
Okay. And one more tool is there for Windows thing, Microsoft board. So anyone using, I'm using currently, it's amazing. So you have brainstorming.
Teams whiteboard, correct?
Yeah. It's can I share my screen, sir? Satish sir?
Yes, sure.
Thanks for the permission. Please give me the share access. Yeah, it's up now. Just a moment. Able to see my screen, team members?
Loading.
It's coming up. I think.
Yep. Please let me know when it's up. Is it visible now?
No.
Or have I shared the wrong window?
Shashank, your screen is not it.
Okay. I don't know why it is not showing up. Just a moment. I hope it is visible now.
Yes.
Okay. So here, what I'm trying to say is, you can see this particular templates, list of templates there. For example, you are going for project planning. Just click over here.
Shashank, it's a plain white screen is coming up.
Oh man, sorry. What happened? Just a moment, guys. Is it visible now? Popping up?
No, at least not for me. It's still a white screen.
Is it visible now? I think yes.
You have to find it exactly where.
Just a
No,
moment.
Shashank, it is still a white screen is coming up. Maybe you can stop the screen and share it.
Now it
Yes,
is visible.
Yes, now it is coming up.
Now it's
Okay. Can you able to see this one? Recommended templates is there on my left side. Yeah. So if I go to this one, project planning, I could see many of the things. For example, PI planning board is there. So if I click over here, PI planning, I can see this one. What I'm saying is, you can play around with that milestone iteration 1, 2, 3, 4, and just scroll this particular page, dependency team A, B, C, and you can so and so forth. So number one, this one it can be doable, and you can clear your canvas, paste, and create a note of it. So it is not like the earlier tool. It's much bit user friendly, to be honest. Yeah, and here you can write, for example,
Shashank, which tool is this?
Microsoft Board. Microsoft Board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see over here. Not board, it's whiteboard to be precise.
It's part of Teams, correct?
No. It is not part of MS Teams. It is part of Windows. I think OS 10. I think OS 10 or more than above that.
Okay.
It's
So
part
there is
of
a
that.
way to include it in the Teams. So it's a something is there.
Simply you can type over here. Go to this one. You can type
we can do that, Venkatesh. But thing is, like the organization need to approve that integration with Teams.
Yeah.
Not everyone is doing that, right? But instead, we can directly use it.
So you, if I click over here,
correct?
Microsoft boards, yeah. So you can have retrospective, see 4 Ls, rows, what is that? Rows, thrown, bird, sailboat, quick retro, and you can have start, stop, continue, team activity. So mad, sad, glad, design and research can play around, Cano model, mood board, story point. You can have multiple things, and you have this one kind of that to play around. Problem solving also, a fishbone we have. So we can have multiple things in our plate, and I think it is pretty much easy to use. It will take time to adjust because it is too much of UI things, and you have to have that mouse grip on your mouse and to play around with that. So if I click over here, again, the same thing. See, ideas. You need to zoom it over here, and you have to provide your text. Yeah. Something you can do that. Yeah. You can customize and you can make it bold, underline it, and you can zoom it. And the drawback of this tool is it is not you cannot have that share safe thing. You have to take the snip from your snipping tool and you can post it on your PowerPoint. That was the challenge I was facing in my organization when I was doing this particular. People demanded, to be honest, my development team demanded, we don't require the PowerPoint and typical the way you are going, use my whiteboard. So I said fine, but when I try to save that this particular thing, it is not able to. I am not able to do that. So see, I have done multiple things. So it will be there on your particular screen. Okay. So see, I can delete, you can report, rename it, but we cannot save it. Just like we have typical MS Office tool like Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. So it will be there. So you can open n number of whiteboards over here. Yeah.
So people can contribute it without login, right?
Yes. No. You have to share that link.
Yeah. I'll share that link, but no need to sign up or anything.
Nothing. I am just showcasing.
No, I mean,
for example,
Shashank, the point is it anonymous or not?
Yeah.
Yes, it is anonymous.
Hmm.
See, if I'm going to share this particular thing, share with the link. So you can copy that link and you can paste it, and you can play around with that. And the plus point is you need not to refresh it. On the go, it will be a keep on adding. That is the another plus point. Otherwise, what I was used to do, I used to keep on refreshing that Google PowerPoint is there now. Where that is online tool, right? You need to keep on refreshing. Shashank, I wrote the point. Can you please check it? So every time you need to do that, but it is not like that. Here it is not like that. You can add multiple pointer you at a single time. You can add it, yeah. If you want to put something initials like my name Shashank Mahapatra, I can put SM, something like that, to know who is written this point. Yeah, yes, you can do that. The tool name is Microsoft Whiteboard, not Blaya Whiteboard, simply Microsoft Whiteboard. I don't know how to integrate with MS Teams.
No,
but,
in MS Teams itself, you have Microsoft Whiteboard.
Okay.
It's
I
app,
never.
It's an app in the MS Teams.
Okay. Okay. But again, Leela sir said it is depend upon organization how they are doing it. Otherwise, yeah.
Any books for retrospectives? If you
Yes, there is a couple of books, I guess. Effective retrospectives or not? Yeah, let me check once. I need to check the links.
Okay.
Yeah, Deepak, you raised
Hi, Satish. Actually, for retro, Jira Enterprise itself provide one of these retrospective options.
Yeah,
And
whiteboard.
instead of going outside of the third-party tool, if organizations is having some kind of compliance, team can use this Jira line retrospective option as well. It's pretty decent well within the team itself.
Sure, thanks Deepak for that. Okay, let me quickly share my screen. Yeah, last question. Suggestions for technical product owner, how to become one. Anyone already have this designation? So this is more or less that of what we discussed earlier for developer to product manager or lead to Scrum Master. This is more or less similar until unless we have anything specific to discuss about it. The domain plays a very key role in doing that. And when we say the technical product owner, we might be able to do the analysis, the dashboards or the reports on how many users are using our new features, what's the customer satisfaction, all these things, or maybe having that Power BI and access, or not the access, the knowledge or the idea, implementation and generating the reports, dashboards. All these perspectives could be from the technical perspectives from the product owner. That is what my thoughts. Anyone want to add any pointers?
Sir, for my understanding, technical product owner role is more or less is a job responsibility, and not the designation part. What I mean, I can have it thought. So basically, what kind of roles and responsibility you are playing in org level, that is there. And when it comes to roles and responsibility, it could be anything, AVP, VP, and so on and so forth. So in organization, what kind of role you are playing, that particular matter. And product owner from the business standpoint, and if you are adding some techie part, to be part of release management, release, how it's happening, what is the cadence for release part, you need to be a bit involved. But more or less, it's purely depend upon JD and what is the expectation from the candidate in the organization whenever he is being absorbed. So it is more or less purely depending upon roles and the kind of expectation one have after absorbing in the organization.
In addition, as such, no technical or business product owner, it's a very unique role, and there could be a project specific Satish, and it's no matter is a technical work or business work, it's altogether is business expectation. But yeah, if you think about this epic hierarchy is going for the if divide into the multiple two phases, like business epic and technical epic, which is called enabler, right? So if organization is more about kind of cloud migrations or any kind of digital work or engineering work or mechanical work sort of things, so this role little bit change, but ownership again it's go for this product owner itself. Is altogether a business requirement is. I don't think so. It's this suffix or prefix for this technical or business have any difference.
Thanks.
That's
Deepak,
my call.
for that. Sure, definitely. Yeah. Thanks for that. Okay. Yes. That brings us to end of the discussion. Quickly connect to the AHA slides. I shared the link just now. If in case you're not, I can see 6 members. In case you're not, I can connect to it. So before wrapping up, couple of quick pointers. So we started that buddy mentoring program, and 30 folks registered for the first cohort, and we started working with them as part of this, helping each other. It's all part of the community. That's what we started this SS Agile Gurus buddy mentoring program. That is for the Q1. And whoever is in Pune, yes, you can connect at Ohuman Cave this coming Saturday. Looking forward to meet you. And there are a few upcoming plans which we had. The safe mentoring cohort, similar to the Scrum, we are planning to do the safe mentoring cohort as well, but it might be coming up in the Q2. Right now, there's a tentative timelines, and we are planning for the simulation, hands-on simulation for Scrum hands-on and the safe hands-on as well. There is a upcoming virtual events which we are planning in continuation to this Lean Coffee Connects. Then in-person events. There are a few in-person events which we are not promoting directly, but we are collaborating as volunteers or as members. So Agility Today, Gurgaon, they are having that in-person event on 2nd March in Gurgaon. Same way in Hyderabad, we have in 16th March, and regional Scrum gathering in Pune in the month of April, and regional Scrum gathering in Bangalore in the month of July. So if in case you are part of any of these locations, try to see if you can participate and if you can get any benefit from these events. And in addition, the Agile Network India, they are doing many events across the cities on a regular basis. You can feel free to join or take part in these in-person events as well. Yes, so the last step, the feedback for the session. I can stop sharing my screen.
Amazing, Satish. It's truly amazing, and though some of these jargons in our right brain is, you try to ask some open-ended questions which really help or force to unlock it, and very good questions which you brought, like Kanban, and it's think actually, right? We all this group know about this Kanban. We all know this retrospective. We all know this about product owner roles and responsibility, etc. But this session really helped to unlock and or unbox it to think through. Yeah, this weekend night. So truly amazing.
Thanks, Deepak.
And it's Nagesh is here. It's really amazing for me to hear him as well, Nagesh. So that's good response and good reply we heard from you as well.
Thanks. Nagesh dropped off, but yes, definitely we'll pass on that feedback to him. The Pune meetup is on 17th, next Saturday, evening 5 o'clock. And Venkatesh, thanks for the 10 on 10. I'm based out of Hyderabad.
Okay, cool. I wasn't aware of it.
Yes, awesome. I'm based out of Hyderabad. Yes, so we'll plan in Hyderabad as well. And Venkatesh, thanks for that 10 out of 10. And Shashank, first time I attended in full scale, yes. And it is 17th Feb. Pune event is 17th Feb, not 17th March. Sure. I know it happens.
17th March. Will there be an online session as well?
That is like I'm going to Pune for a conference, Vasu. So just casual coffee catch. That's it.
Okay, fine.
Bring your own coffee. Sit.
See, how much ever we connect virtual, right? That in-person connect brings the difference.
I see. I'm based out of Chennai,
Mhm.
so that's what I'm just curious.
Yeah. We are just having a casual conversation. That's it. Nothing. No agile, no scrum, nothing. Just a casual chit chat.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
We are
everyone.
right
Nice
on
interaction,
time
nice
for the
session.
first
Thank
time.
you. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye bye.